Today we're creating 5 easy seasonal decor pieces on a budget. Welcome to the Chic Show. The 5 Under $5 playlist is always hosted by Emily at Farm Charm Chic, and she always has a guest host. You can find the playlist and their channels in the description box below. I recently thrifted this wood round frame and I thought I could use it for some spring decor. So I'm going to be using this piece of drop cloth inside the frame. First of all, I'm going to iron out any wrinkles. I'm using IOD's Apothecary stamps for this project, but you could use any stamps that you had on hand. Dollar Tree does carry some clear stamps, and I have seen alphabets there as well. The frame did not have a backing, so I cut one from foam board. I'm cutting my drop cloth to fit since it will be covering the foam board. I cut notches around the cloth so that I could get a nice snug fit. I don't think I recorded it, but these little notches are what I hot glued to the back of the foam board. I used IOD's Apothecary stamps for my lettering, but you could use any stamp that you have on hand. Dollar Tree does carry clear alphabet stamps and ink pads at times. I'm adding my letters at different times because I only have one set. The Apothecary stamp set does come with several different fonts, and some of them are larger and smaller than others. This stamp is from the IOD Wreath Maker, but I have seen smaller stamps similar to this at Dollar Tree. I picked out the part that I wanted to use and I stamped it on each side. Lastly, I added a rub-on transfer, also from IOD Rose Botanical. Dollar Tree does carry really cute transfers as well, and I've used many of those. Once I've decided on a flower I want to use, I remove the backing and use the transfer tool to transfer onto the fabric. Once this was done, I did hot glue those little notches to the back of the foam board and replace the fabric and backing, and then this project is finished. I saw Sonnet from Sonnet's Garden Blooms make over one of these little wooden shoes, and I've never run across them before when thrifting, but all of a sudden I have been seeing them everywhere. I guess I'm paying more attention to them now. But I picked this one up and I decided to paint mine with white chalk paint. It did take 2 or 3 coats, and I used a paint inlay, but you could also use a rub-on transfer for this just as easily, and it would be quicker. Paint inlays must be placed into wet paint, so I will paint the top of the shoe again and apply these transfers into the wet paint. I do give each of the inlays a little spritz of water before placing them into the paint. I did have some smearing on the toe here, but I just left it alone because I figured I would do more harm than good. I continued around the shoe and then set it aside to dry. Once it was completely dry, I spritzed the paint inlays again and dabbed off any excess water. I waited about 30 seconds and then pulled back that backing paper. Paint inlays do need to be sealed with a spray sealer. So I took this outside and gave it a quick little spray. I thrifted this paper plate holder for $2.99. I hated to paint over the hand painting, but I wanted it to match my aesthetic, so I painted it with Moss by Waverly. And yes, more IOD transfers. While they are a splurge, you're getting many pages with the ability to make numerous projects, so I find it's definitely worth the money, and they are all absolutely beautiful. I picked out the sections that I wanted on both sides and I cut them to fit. Once they're transferred, it's always a good idea to go back and rub them down with that backing paper just to burnish them and make sure everything is down and it won't peel off. Then I continued with the other side of the paper plate holder. Once they were transferred, I added some yellow plates and dinner was served. Frame from Dollar Tree, and I didn't have a vision for it when I bought it until I started preparing for this playlist. So this backing part I'm going to be painting with Night Sky by Waverly, and I am going to give this 2 or 3 coats of paint because this chipboard backing does soak it up pretty fast. For the actual frame, I'm mixing together some milk paint in Barn Red. For milk paint, you're supposed to mix equal parts of the powder and water, and sometimes it will give you a chippy finish. I don't always have a lot of luck with that, but I wasn't looking for that on this piece anyway. So I did give it 2 coats, and I was very careful to stay just on the top of the frame so that I didn't have to paint down in all those little nooks and crannies. This little rub-on transfer from Dollar Tree is going to be the star of the show here. I'm going to place it down onto the backing, and these are little silver stars. I've had them for quite a while. I don't know if they still have them or not. Some of their metallic rub-on transfers don't work very well, but these do. These work very well. So I'm just going to apply these to that backing. Now we can replace that backing into the frame. As I did that, I noticed that the spaces in the frame itself needed a little something. So I decided to put a piece of white paper back behind it so it would look kind of like stripes. So I just traced onto a piece of copy paper and cut that square out. I then cut the inner square out so that it would fit nicely, and it looks like it does, but there were still a couple of spaces. So what I did was I cut it in half, and then I'm just using a glue stick to glue 1/2 on there, and then I can overlap that paper just a little bit so that I can make sure all of those spaces are covered. Which way would you prefer it, with the white backing or without? Don't forget to check out the playlist in the description box below, along with our hosts. Please give them some love, give them a thumbs up, leave them a comment. We all appreciate it. If you need more inspiration, here's another video you might like right here. And don't forget to check me out on lachicshop.com, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.